Welcome back once again, everybody. I'm Max Scoville for IGN. We are live at E3. I'm with Adr1ft from Adr1ft, and you have Adr1ft to show us.
We do.
What's Adr1ft?
Adr1ft is the story of an astronaut who wakes up floating in space amongst the debris of this destroyed space station. No idea how she got there. No idea what happened. Badly damaged EVA suit, leaking oxygen.
So I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. A lot of people are comparing this to Gravity. Was that the inspiration, or have you guys been working on that for...
No, I started working on this game just like on napkins and piece of paper for like a month before I found out about Gravity. It was like in early 2013, and I was bummed when I first, because I was like, oh, I can't make this game now.
Yeah, well...
But then I realized that actually doesn't really matter. Like, Gravity's not the only space disaster movie that's ever been made.
They didn't invent space.
They did not invent space. So I just decided that, I mean, I knew the game that I wanted to make anyway, so I knew it would be very different. And then when I finally went and saw Gravity when it came out, I was just super relieved because our game is just not like that at all. I mean, it's similar in the sense that it's a space disaster, and I really only had like 2 choices for protagonists, so it just worked out that way.
So this is noticeably like very like sci-fi, like very you've kind of like actually this isn't real life tech. This is kind of
no. This is I mean, it's basically an homage to 2001. It's very inspired by 2001, the music of Pink Floyd, Mirror's Edge. Those kind of things are very inspirational to Adr1ft. I mean, you can see in this section right now. Doesn't get more 2001 than that.
Yeah.
And we purposefully went that way as opposed to like dirty, gritty space, because nobody really does this kind of art style for space games. It always seems to be either super shiny or super dirty.
Yeah, and people like most of the time, if you're a spaceman in a game, you're like jumping around and shooting stuff, and it's like you're kind of just, I mean, you're Adr1ft, like you're.
Yeah, I mean, so. Adr1ft is what we call an FPX. It's a first-person experience, and we make at Adr1ft. Our goal is to make these kind of super high-quality, shorter, narrative-driven experiences. But unlike some of the other games that always kind of get lumped into this, like, walking simulator or something like that, like we took a lot of time to really make sure that there's robust game mechanics and there's systems at play, so you're not actually just floating around doing stuff.
Right.
There's actual stuff to do in the game.
Yeah, and I think people are kind of like often kind of equate like, oh, it's an experience, and it's they're like, well, it's not a game. But it's like there are fail states here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can die by running out of oxygen, by getting hit by debris, by getting electrocuted. It's a destroyed space station is a very dangerous place. And
there's plants floating everywhere.
Yeah, you can see right now we're in a, I guess this is a hallway, and this is about an hour and a half into the game, and this is the comms level, and what's happening is the communications arrays have been knocked offline by the catastrophic event, and you have to go fix them. So you can hear mission control is communicating with you, but you can't communicate with them.
Ah, okay.
And so this is one of the comms array units that's offline.
Oh wow.
So what's happening right now is we're inside the dome that houses it, and you can see beautiful Earth out there. And we're going to go through this door over here and out into space to manually throw it back online via a switch.
What am I looking at on the HUD right here? Like we've got the
so the HUD right now, you're seeing an oxygen meter on the right, and moving from right to left, there's an oxygen meter. And when you notice when you're outside, so oxygen's always depleting in the game, but we've made it so that when you're inside, it depletes at a slower rate, and when you're outside, it becomes really increased. So it's basically dangerous outside.
Right.
And then you have kind of a direction thing, and then an audio meter, name of the player, and then the velocity meter, which kind of shows you where you're pushing the left stick and how hard you're pushing it.
Oh wow. Yeah, I was gonna ask like, just basic kind of traversal and movement. Like it's kind of weird that like we don't get a lot of 0G games. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
an unusual mechanic.
It was, I mean, it just seemed like ripe to do something cool with it, and I feel like, you know, we had Richard Garriott over at the booth yesterday, and he went to space for 2 weeks, and he told us that our controls and the way it feels is really authentic to how it feels to be in space. So
Nice.
that was awesome.
How's that affected your like your level design? I mean, it's because you don't have to
level,
really account
I mean,
for up and you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges to designing a game that's open like this and is also, you know, you can go anywhere in any direction and do anything. Super challenging. So we really tried to make levels that felt comforting almost in a way to the players, so that when you're kind of moving through the structures, it feels very as safe as a destroyed space station can be. You want to feel this kind of the warm embrace of the destroyed space station, if that makes any sense at all.
Cool. And I heard you guys are messing around with this on VR.
Yeah. Right now, actually here at the show, we have a booth with 5 Oculus kits, and we're working with Valve and on the HTC Vive and Sony Morpheus as well.
Damn. So this could very well be one of the first kind of big like VR games.
I mean, that's what we're hoping. We want to be the killer game VR app. Killer game VR app. That makes no sense.
I'm noticing the cracking in the helmet here. This is kind of like
So throughout the game, as you bash into stuff and stuff hits you, your visor starts to crack, and it's terrifying when you see that happening. But there's repair stations around the ship that you can repair your visor at. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, you have a leak in your suit, leaking oxygen. So when you get hit by debris, it forces the oxygen out of your suit. So.
Damn.
It's really dangerous, right? We like to say the environment is the enemy in Adr1ft.
And of course, you've got stuff scattered around. Like, what is this? A cell phone?
No, this is one of the collectibles in the game where every level, air quote level, has these data discs floating around.
Okay.
And you pick them up for achievements and stuff like
and
that.
And they kind of piece together the story, like we've kind of.
Yeah. So like what you're gonna see here is
personal log,
picking up an audio log, and a lot of the narrative is told through the audio logs and kind of broadcasts you pick up. This one happens just to be a piano recording of Claire de Lune. The character, Andrew McDonough, is a kind of a irresponsible father, and he kind of takes these jobs that keep taking him away from home, and he's kind of he has this complicated relationship with his daughter, who's a piano prodigy, and she's on Earth, and she's not having a father, and he's not, being a good parent. So his whole storyline is, this kind of regret.
Probably the least available you can be is going to space.
Yeah. He's got a lot of regret about the choices that he made, and he's got. She pipes him up some of her piano recitals, and he's listening to them. And in the game, he gets you find out he's gotten a transfer to go home, but he didn't make it.
Damn.
Yeah, heavy.
Now, you touched on this. You said this about an hour and a half into the game.
Yeah.
How long is the overall experience?
About 3 hours. Yeah, we're on purpose. We very much are focusing on super high quality, short game experiences.
Now that's a problem for some people. Like people get kind of huffy about that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's super okay
but
to
I mean,
play a good game for 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean the idea is that you want to complete it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think about Adr1ft and these kind of games that we're making as, oh man.
Uh-oh. Well, we're running out of air here.
I kind of think about Adr1ft as more like going to see like a director's cut of Interstellar at the best IMAX you can see. Like you're going to pay $20 or $30.
Yeah.
You're going to have 3 hours of awesome entertainment, and maybe it spoke to you in some way, and then you can move on with your life.
Wow, revolutionary. Adam, thank you so much for showing this off. This looks really cool.
Thanks a lot.
I'm dying to sit down and play it,
Cool.
when it's all finished. check out the rest of our coverage. We're going live right here. It's the last day of E3 on IGN. I'm Max Scoville. Take it easy.